Buddy. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Ohio Sports Talk. I am your host, Doug. That is my co-host, Jordan Maxson. We hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful eclipse day. Jordan, right off the bat, dude, did you get to watch the eclipse?
Yes. Me and my daughter, we got to watch the eclipse. We got the glasses. They were out of school today on spring break, and her track practice got canceled because of it. So
nice.
Catch a few things. It's on my social media. We have to take a few pictures. It was pretty cool. I didn't think it was going to be as cool as what it was, but actually feeling the temperature drop and seeing kind of the shade and feeling like almost you're in the eye of a storm, at least from where I'm at. It was interesting.
You know, I think that's a good take, buddy, because the last one happened in 2016, 2017?
Correct. Everybody, we're going through we'll get him back here.
Okay. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my but yeah, I think the last one was 2016, 2017?
Somewhere in between that. Yeah, it was right
and
after.
I don't really remember that one. So that's why I thought this year it was a little more interesting. I got to actually see it, had the little glasses, got out there and looked at it. I thought it was pretty cool, man. I mean, it's something that doesn't happen a lot, and to see it, and to see the color change was what I thought was really cool. And then how fast, just a sliver of the sun comes out and the way it lights back up, just how incredible the sun is and how all that works. I thought was really, really cool. It was a fun thing to see. Jordan, other than that, though, anything going on this week for you?
No, it's a slow week here at the Maxson household. Thank goodness it doesn't happen a lot. So we're gonna enjoy some sports and kind of take it from there. So what about the Stevens household? What's rocking?
Yeah, no, I mean, so what we've got this week, hopefully, we've got some T-ball practice because we've been rained out recently. We're trying to get a practice in. These kids need it. T-ball is an absolute monster to try to do when you're, when 4 and 5-year-olds are first trying to learn how to play. It's a challenge. So it'd be nice to get a couple practices in. But other than that, just hanging out with the kids. Got the kids both this weekend, so that'll be fun. Just trying to keep them entertained and things like that. But Jordan, we got a loaded show tonight. Let's kick it off first. We've got the women's national champions, South Carolina. What were your thoughts on their victory over Iowa this week in Caitlin Clark?
South Carolina is the almost slow snake. Once they really grip you, they just start to squeeze the life out of you. Iowa came out strong, went on a run there in the first quarter. Kind of looked like everything was going to click their way, but South Carolina, the whole reason they're undefeated, they showed up. That defense was absolutely stifling in the second, third, and fourth quarter, and that's at the end of the day. That's what got them the win. Out rebounding and just really stifling team defense. Their defense on the perimeter on the wings. I mean, I almost thought I was watching a male game at some point. So I was extremely impressed. Hats off to South Carolina women. They all year long undefeated is
38-0 is crazy.
It's the hardest thing to do in sports, and like you said, it's crazy. So I'm really happy to see it. Take nothing away from Caitlin Clark. She did ball out. She did do her thing. But at the end of the day, it was just too little too late. And it was good to see the coach call her out by name and everything she's done for the sport, for the female athletes. So really world class on both teams. It was exactly as advertised. So I don't think it missed one beat. What was your take?
First off, congratulations to South Carolina. An incredible game for them. They're just the talent and the coaching, the level that they coach at. Don Staley has 3 championships now. I think they're the 11th or 12th college women's program to go undefeated for the whole season. Incredible. Just, to beat a player like Caitlin Clark and a good solid Iowa team. Also, after Iowa beat them last year in the Final Four, little revenge story for the ladies, the Gamecocks. I was impressed. I was super impressed with them all year. I think what you said, they usually take the first half as a feeling out process, and then comes second half, they imprint themselves on the game. They start to wear you down with their athleticism, their defense. And what I thought this year was better than last year and years in past, the scoring. They have legitimate scoring threats from the three-point line. They had good guard play. They've always had good players, but the scoring really was different this year for them, and that took them to the next level and took them to a national championship. Really impressed, though.
Their South Carolina's bench accounted for 32-point scoring. That's something you don't see at almost any collegiate level. It was, like you said, that was an impressive team win from top to bottom, from coaching all the way down to the freshmen that came in and gave them a big boost there in the third and fourth quarter when Iowa kept going on their runs, and they just kept shielding them off. Right when he thought it was going to turn a corner, and they shaved it to, I believe it was 6 points mid fourth. The freshman for South Carolina came off the bench and just three ball offensive rebound. It just really was an amazing thing to see. So definitely hats off to South Carolina. Well deserved, undefeated. Can't wait to see how they reload next year. I'll definitely be tuning in. College basketball is something I've always kind of I've never skipped through it, but I've never die hard paid attention. But it's definitely going to have my attention for the next couple of years. I'm really impressed to see how they elevate themselves.
Okay, I like that. That's well said. I think the women's game has grown, and it's been awesome to see the growth. That's a big part of that is Caitlin Clark. She's been phenomenal this year, and over the course of her career, she's been phenomenal. To me, who's going to carry the torch next? Who's going to take that next step for the ladies? Who's going to be that flag bearer that says, "Hey, we can't let this opportunity go away. I'm going to keep battling, and I'm going to be that one to take us to an even higher heights." Because now that Caitlin Clark's going to the WNBA has a chance to even elevate themselves more, their marketing dollars. I would be remiss if they didn't boost their budget in terms of marketing. I think this is a great year to go all in on a marketing budget that maybe they haven't tested before. The Indiana Fever are going to have they're going to have Caitlin Clark. They're going to have Aaliyah Boston, who was all over the coverage for the NCAA tournament. These are two marketable stars that I think you have to take full advantage for. And I'm convinced that the WNBA is going to take one more step. I started getting more into it the last couple of years. I think this year I'm going to be all in. I'm going to support the Fever just because I'm on that Caitlin Clark train, and that's just she's the star. And I think there's going to be a lot of Indiana Fever support this season. So I'm expecting the WNBA to also to do well with this momentum and maybe see an even uptick in the commercials, the money, the shoe deals. I think they're going to be going after a lot of those type of things. And go ahead.
No, and just to add to the commentary there, with the Olympics being this so close as well, this is the opportunity has never been bigger for women's basketball to take that next, and especially if they can use the Olympic platform to bring all those all-stars together and put together a winning team, come back, like you said, come back for the draft, come back for the WNBA, get those shoe deals done, get that marketing in there, because young kids right now are watching it more than ever. 12.6 million viewers.
That's crazy numbers.
The last two female NCAA basketball games drew in 12.6 million apiece, and those are astronomical numbers. So I'll be happy for the market to exceed, especially having a daughter myself and you having a daughter yourself. Definitely rooting for that.
Yeah, 100%. That's a great point. As dads with daughters, we why would we not want to see something like this succeed and give women another outlet to do well and be seen? Like you said, well said, buddy. Jordan, let's transition. Tonight is the men's national championship. Big game. UConn and Purdue, the two best teams in my opinion all season. let's put you on the spot, Jordan. Who wins this game?
Man, that's I knew this question was going to come out. I've kind of avoided it on both our social media platforms because deep down I have a feeling that UConn's going to get it done. I think give me UConn by 6. I think you're going to see at least 6 lead changes throughout the two halves, but I think UConn's going to pull it out late in the second half.
Okay. I'm with you on that. The line right now for the game, Jordan, is -6.5 for UConn. So you're right on that line. I think 6 feels good. I'm interested to see how a team that has a 7-footer like UConn matches up with Edey. I'm wondering if they're going to be able to just match them up 1v1. And then that way Purdue's not getting their kick out threes. They're not getting easy looks off of Edey's double teams. I'm sure at some points they will have to double. That's just what you have to do on a guy who's 7'4". But I think a majority of the night, they're going to try to play that single coverage and live with Edey maybe getting 30. But that's just, a player of his caliber. Sometimes you got to let that go and not have a guy, a Brendan Smith get hot from 3, the point guard for Purdue. And to me, I think UConn is the more talented team. And that's why they can't let Purdue get these easy type buckets. When you're the more talented team, you can't give up easy looks and things like that to keep the other team around. 6 points, I think, feels safe. I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to go 8. I think it's close, and UConn's talent takes over at the end. Maybe hits a couple of late threes to stretch out the lead. Should be a great game, though. I mean, these teams are really talented. If Purdue won the game, I would not be surprised. And if Edey, rides off to the NBA with his, National Player of the Year back-to-back, and then the National Championship and a National Champion Player of the Year type award, to me, that's the perfect send-off for him. But I don't think they can beat UConn straight up. There's the UConn defense, offense, they're just so good on both sides of the ball that it's going to be really difficult for Purdue to do. Anything else on that game that you're excited for?
I'm just excited to see the athletes and really UConn, the way they play their defense and the way they go to their zone. It's kind of reminiscent on how a lot of teams, I kind of go back to, being an Ohio State fan. When Ohio State defeated Purdue. Yeah. That's kind of they really took their wing players and, like you said, stretched them down. The center them, Edey couldn't beat them by himself. Right. And they those other guys to step up, and they were able to kind of shut those wing players down. So I expect UConn's a lot more efficient at it and a lot better. I'm really excited to see UConn's defense kind of show up and show out.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Jordan, another piece of news that we kind of missed during the weekend time. Roddy Gale from OSU is transferring. Kobe Elvis from Dayton's transferring, and Petros Patagimis is also transferring from Dayton. So 2 Dayton guys, 1 Ohio State guy. Any thoughts? And Zed Key, obviously, we knew Zed Key. Any thoughts on a couple of those transfers from our two schools?
We did cover the Elvis leaving Dayton.
We tweeted about it. Yeah, I was just saying, what's your thoughts on the show?
I kind of saw the Elvis in writing on the wall. You and I have been kind of banging the drum on that throughout the season. It was too inconsistent. He had the mega game against University of Cincinnati. I think I was guilty of the 2. I clinged on to that, and I wanted to see that night in and night out, but it just didn't transition for the long run. So I wish him well. I wish him well in his transfer. And that's kind of the one that highlighted in my mind. Just kind of figuring out the other transfers as you're kind of breaking it here on our program. So I'm going to let you kind of take some thoughts on the other.
So Roddy, a guard / wing for Ohio State. I always liked watching the guy play. I think he's a really talented player. I thought he was a guy who, in my opinion, could be even better than he is, but there's something maybe that was holding him back at Ohio State. And if he thinks that going to maybe a slightly smaller school potentially could help him in terms of the points and things like that, I could understand. With Ohio State bringing in Amici Johnson and a couple of these other guys they're looking at with their recruits, it makes sense. People, in this landscape of college basketball, you're going to have turnover, and that's just how it goes. I just thought Roddy was a guy that I really enjoyed watching play basketball, so I wanted to see him continue at Ohio State because I thought he was kind of like a glue guy held that team together in some moments where they needed a guy, and just one of my guys that I really enjoyed watching for Ohio State. And then Petros Patagimis just put his name in the portal. Didn't really ever get his footing at Dayton this season. I'm not necessarily surprised. He's a guy who has potential. I'll be interested to see where he goes, but his decision isn't alarming to me. It makes sense. Opens up another scholarship for UD. So now they have 3 or 4, depending on Deron Holmes' decision. So there's a lot of talent in the NIL, in the transfer portal right now. Go out and get some talented basketball players so this team can be even better going into next year potentially. You're not going to replace Deron Holmes, All-American, but there's a way to put this team back together where they can be competitive again and potentially win the A-10. So just wanted to touch on those while we were on the college topic. No. Jordan, next on the agenda, buddy, let's talk negativity. The Cleveland Cavaliers have broke our hearts once again. That loss against the Clippers might have been the one that broke the back. I think that's the one that if this we can look back and say, shit, that was the game where I lost hope for this team officially. We've been teetering on the edge of, I think, could they maybe? That was the game right there. At one point, they were up, 26 points, Jordan?
20. One point, they were up 26 points, and they went into halftime with 81 points scored, most ever that the Cavs have scored in one half of basketball, period. So, we had so many other sports going on. We had the women's game going on. We had the Reds going on.
Yeah.
I saw the box score, and I think I even texted you about it. I was like, all right, the Cavs are kind of back on top. You were enjoying your time at the Reds game. I was watching the women's game, and I turned around and I texted you. I said, and that Rob Schneider, we suck again. I mean, seriously, I couldn't believe it.
You texted me at halftime and said, "Hey, you said, are we back?" And I said, "Hey, man, the Clippers kind of suck too." And we just kind of left it there. And then he texted me later, "We suck again." And I was like, that's the roller coaster that the Cavs have taken us on the second half of the year. It's been terrible, man. Jordan, I posted it on there on social media today. I think it's time that whatever happens in the postseason happens. JB Bickerstaff cannot be the coach coming into next year. It just can't happen. There's a ceiling on this team with him as the coach. Is a 26-point lead getting lost all his fault? No. But the way this team has played in the second half of the year does reflect on coaching. At some point, a coach has to be able to bring his guys up and get them ready to play. And JB has, in my opinion, lost that. I think guys like an experienced coach like a Mike Budenholzer or someone of that ilk, maybe one of these top-level assistants, go out and get one of these guys and bring the Cavs back. Bring a guy in that Mitchell clears. You've got to start there. You got to bring in a guy who Mitchell signs off on. And if it's deemed that Mitchell and Garland can't do it together, it's got to be this offseason. They're running out of time with Mitchell. They've got him signed. They've got his contract for one more year. If things don't go better, I would not be surprised if he asked for a trade before the deadline next year. What are your thoughts? JB fired, hire a Mitchell guy, possibly Mitchell getting traded before the trade deadline next year.
Oh, JB, and I've been beating the table for this for probably 2 or 3 shows straight. Yeah. JB's got to go. JB has to go. 26 points. Yeah, some of it can rely on the players, but if you really break down rotation and minutes, it was totally mismanaged. It always
is.
I get that you want to coast and but at the end of the day, they're still the Clippers. They have a better record than the Cavs do. The Clippers they're not terrible in the West as a whole, and they have too many all-star veterans that have been around the game. And I think Paul George hasn't hit a game winner since 2018, and we gave him the platform for it, and it's just total disarray on the rotation. You pulled Garland out when he was hot. We pulled Isaac Okoro, was perfect from the field at one point, and he started to suck the bench. It just the rotation pieces. It doesn't make any sense. The matchups don't make sense coming out of timeouts, and you've seen it time and time again. We saw it against the Bulls a few weeks ago when he matched Jared Allen up against the Bulls.
Foul, the three, yeah.
I'm going to foul on the three. Then 2 weeks later, not even 2 weeks later, we saw the same song and dance. He cannot coach in tight situations. He can't play chess defensively. And these are all things that he bragged about when we got him in the building. Defensive mindset, defensive guy. He can play chess. And even when they were playing for the play-in a couple years ago and the team was banged up, he went with the same rotation that completely sucked and fell through. So JB Bickerstaff has to go. Do I think Mitchell traded? No. I think if Kobe Altman wants to keep his damn job, he will sign off. He will get a coach to sign off on it. And the Darius Garland, the experiment's over. If he has had a good 3-game run percentage wise, we're seeing the points come together. We're seeing the field goal percentage kind of rise up. But if he can't put together the masterpiece for however long the run's going to be at this point with the shitty coaching that we may or may not be able to shake off, that this experiment has to end. You got to move the max contract while he himself is still considered a valuable player. We can't hold on. We can't keep praying that we can play Batman and Robin with it. He's got to go. If he can't fit in, he's got to go because this team has too much talent, too much payroll, and too many defensive players, especially with our bigs, to keep pissing away year after year. So it's got to change right now. Like you hit the nail on the head. If I could fire him before he got to Cleveland, I would have. And
that's what I said. I tweeted that out for us. I said, "Do you fire JB on the plane?"
Yes.
Or the moment the plane rests down in Cleveland. And I thought, it's probably never happened before. But in that scenario, I wouldn't have minded being the first. I'll tell you that right now. That was really rough watching that end. Paul George, 39 points, 16 of 16 from the free throw line. Ridiculous amount of foul calls for him.
22 points in the fourth quarter, and we know
Paul George hasn't hit a game winner since he was playing in Indiana in 2015. He's been unclutched for 9 years, and he, of course, buries the Cavs with a jumper to win the game. Bullshit, man. I was so mad watching that happen.
I was angry.
Jordan, we're both on the same fire JB train. Wednesday night, we got the Grizzlies. Friday night, we got the Pacers. The Hornets on Sunday night. We said a lot of stuff here. We said fire JB. We said we're not loving where we are. I don't think it changes my mind, but let's win 3 straight, buddy. Let's win 3 straight games. Hey, also, do not play Mitchell. Do not play Mitchell till the playoffs start.
Please, for the love of God. I can't.
He is struggling. He is injured. At least save an injured Mitchell until the
team's
playoffs.
Doing better without him. Statistically,
because he's hurt, I would say is why.
I'm saying they're holding their own until they need to get to the finish line. And the finish line's the playoffs.
That's where we miss Mitchell. But it's those last minutes of games is where we really miss Mitchell. But again, rest him until the series starts. We need him as best as he can be for those moments. Don't waste my time on these games. They weren't going to beat LA either way. He didn't need to be out there.
No.
The way the team had been playing, they weren't going to beat LA. The Lakers. And they could have won yesterday without him.
And the Bucks themselves are on a huge 1-4 skid themselves. So they the East, who's ahead of us and who's behind us, everybody's kind of in a slump right now. So keep Donovan Mitchell on a bench.
All right, guys. With 3 games left, Jordan. 3 games left for us. We are sitting at the 5 seed right now. We are a half game behind the Magic, who are the 3 seed, the Knicks, who are the 4 seed, and we are a game above the Pacers, who are the 5 or the 6 seed. Dude, I don't know. Julius Randle is hurt, but I don't want to play New York in a first-round series again. I just have bad memories. If we got to get back to that 3 seed somehow and not have New York be – I just think we're just cursed against New York. They're just too tough for us for whatever reason, and it worries me. Jalen Brunson in a playoff series worries me a lot. What's your thoughts there before we switch topics?
Yeah, I'm fully. You and I, the few things that we do agree on fully. This is it. I don't want New York. I don't want to play New York. I don't want to fucking think about New York.
Yeah.
When we were sitting pretty in the 2 seed and we kind of went on that skid and we had a few good laughs and we were like, we're not gonna touch them. I wanted Orlando or even the Pacers, but New York would be a fucking nightmare scenario.
All right, buddy. Let's transition over to the Reds. Went to the game on Saturday. Had a hell of a time. If you guys follow us on social media, you could see that I was living it up down in Cincinnati. Got to see a hell of a ball game. We got to see Spencer Steer hit the go-ahead home run. It was just an electric atmosphere down sitting in the left field bleachers up there. On the bottom row of the left field bleachers, great seats, incredible seats for only 30 some bucks. Absolutely awesome. Rocked the Spencer Steer jersey, had a hell of a game. Drank a lot. I'll tell you what, man, I don't know what it is, but the conies down at the ball game are fantastic. The Skyline conies are better at the ball game than you will find in any Skyline restaurant in the area. Incredible conies. I had 4 of them. I was just going. I was going off, buddy. I was all over it. The drinks were flowing. Tyrone Taylor was the outfielder. Just verbally abused him all game. I got the wave about the eight inning. I was living rent free in his head. No, I'm saying Tyrone turned around and waved. He said, "Hey, I get it." But so we were just having a hell of a time. There was a group of guys behind us, group of guys and ladies next to us that we were cutting it up with. Hell of an environment, hell of a game. Love going to the Reds games, man. Me and you are gonna have to go to one soon. Pick a weekend so we can cut it up down there. After the Reds game, took a visit to the casino, played a little blackjack. Came home a winner, so can't be too upset with that. Had a hell of a time. Love the casino, man. I tell you what, it's hard to walk away from the table when you're having any luck at all. But hell of a night, hell of a game. Jordan, what's your thoughts on the series with the Mets? They did lose the series 1-2. I feel like they gave away game 1, and then last night the bats were just dead. What were your thoughts on that Mets series?
The Mets series, well, let's hit on the high first.
Spencer Steer, National League Player of the Week. My favorite player right now on the Reds team. Hell of a first week. But yes, continue, Jordan.
No, yeah, Spencer Steer, and I wanted to shout out, some of the bullpen work that you saw, especially with the bats quiet. Our bullpen kind of kept us in. Atabot had a not as greatest outing. The bullpen kind of came in and kept it close, but leaving people on base that
runners in scoring position.
We had an inning where we had 0 outs and we had 3 on base. And the Reds only cashed in 1 run. That can't happen. That's not what great teams do. For us to take that next level and be a playoff team, that has to change. It's happening early and a lot more often than it probably should right now. But I think the coaching staff's going to get together and they're going to figure it out. But Ellie Deli Cruz he's still going through a skid of he's getting on base.
Yeah, he is.
That's a positive. I know our fan base is kind of raining down on him really hard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of echo the last show that we had. 22 years old. He's gonna have bumps and he's gonna have success. So
for sure.
Stay buckled in for that. It's gonna turn the tide, and when it does, everybody's gonna say they're fucking sorry. And but not this show. We stayed with them the whole time. But as a whole unit, just too many people left on base, and pitching was just kind of spotty for the whole series.
Here you go, Jordan. Here's a stat for you. Since you talked about runners in scoring position, the Reds left 25 runners in scoring position in the Mets series alone. 25. It's hard to win baseball games when you're leaving that many guys on base. That's a rough number. Jordan, I tweeted this earlier. The Brewers, unfortunately, are Reds killers. They are absolutely, they own us since 2020. We are 24-37 against the Brewers since 2020. And tonight at 6:40, we take the field against these guys. This is a great time to put a stamp on the NL Central. We got Graham Ashcraft going. We got Ashby going. We got Graham Ashcraft going tonight against Ashby. Ashby hasn't pitched this year. Graham Ashcraft with the 3 RA is not bad, but we need to get started off hot against the Brewers tonight. I think this is a series that we have to take, and it's against a team that I feel like really does a great job against the Reds. So what are your thoughts on the Brewers-Reds game tonight?
I honestly, I think the Reds have learned the lesson they need from the Mets series. And I think they're going to come out with a little extra, especially with it being the Central Division showdown. I think the Reds are going to win the series. I think we're going to drop at least one of them. But I think Ashcraft, I'm super excited to see, get his arm going and see, how deep he can go, 6-7 innings, keep the pitch count under. But I'm extremely excited. Some guys got to rest. They're in the Mets series. They're ready to go. Ellie's ready to go. So I'm super excited. I think we're going to win this series. I think they're going to exercise some demons. They're going to make a statement for the NL Central, and it's going to be our springboard to kind of that excitement that we've been waiting on and building up on all off season.
Well said. Nick Lodolo is coming back up to the team. He's going to be back with us this weekend. I think he's pitching on Saturday, so that's great news for. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on Nick Lodolo coming back? A guy that we sorely need in this pitching staff.
I was super excited. The kind of they broke the news. I thought his injury was going to be prolonged. I didn't think we were going to see him till around June time. I think when everything
the original, but then he pitched the two warm-ups in AAA. So yeah, but yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Keep going.
But no, I'm super excited. It's definitely sorely needed for our rotation, and it's going to kind of exercise those demons. And like I said, starting NL Central play, this is right where we need him. So timing couldn't be more perfect.
Well, Jordan, I wasn't going to touch on this. I was going to move on, let it go. But we've talked about everything we needed to talk about. We got a couple more minutes here. Let's not kill it. Absolutely, bury it in the ground. Final thoughts on WrestleMania weekend, buddy.
WrestleMania weekend, the first WrestleMania under the Triple H era. And to me, it didn't disappoint. I know there's a few things that felt out of place to long-term fans. We hit on it on our Twitter, social media. You and I kind of had some private conversations about it. But to me, from top to bottom, it was definitely the right way. The Rock brought it on night one. Didn't look like he had much ring rust. Definitely brought the performance. Definitely brought the attitude. We're kind of in between a PG and an attitude era. The women's division absolutely rocked the house on their matches night 1 and night 2. So congratulations to Bayley for getting her title. Her and Charlotte Flair hanging out afterwards. It was some fun footage to see. And Cody Rhodes finally finishing the story. So I think that was the right call for the industry. I think him doing it now over waiting until SummerSlam was the right call. If you watch the A&E documentary, kind of the lingering health side effects from Roman Reigns' leukemia, I think he kind of needs a break.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Him dropping the title and us getting some fresh storylines was the right call. But just action packed all the way around. Plenty of nostalgia there at that last match. Yeah, John, you had the Undertaker. You had the Usos face off. One more time going 6 feet in. So I was impressed. It was everything that it should have been under the Triple H regime, and them going into a partnership with TKO Sports. So I was really happy to see it. Were you able to catch any of it?
I watched the last match, and then I ended up watching the tag match. I thought the tag match night 1 was the best match of the weekend. From a match standpoint, I thought that was really good stuff. Well, I mean, I guess in my opinion, dude, I still like match quality. I know the moments are important. I know, the stories are important. I like a good match. What are your thoughts on, what were your thoughts on the best match of the weekend?
The best pure match of the weekend was I'd probably give it to Sami Zayn's match for the Intercontinental title with Gunther. So that's as a pure technical match that was clean, didn't have to have any extra storylines or anything extra run to it, other than him just getting the job done. That to me was the best match of the weekend.
Okay, that's fair. Shout out to everybody who's watching. 50 people here at the end of the night. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. Thank you for rocking with us. As always, we're gonna keep trying to build this, man. This is brand new for us. We've been here for a month. We're learning. We're trying to get our audio, our technical, our Wi-Fi. We're trying to get everything wired in and to bring everybody a really good show. That's what we care about. We want to do a good show. So when we have these kind of flubs and mess ups, trust us, it does matter to us, and we're trying to do our best. Jordan, I appreciate your efforts as always. We got Thursday night, buddy. We got some important stuff. We got Ohio State's spring game this weekend.
Yeah.
We've got UFC 300. That'll be a fun show. And then we've got the Reds, we got the Cavs, we got the usual suspects here from Ohio Sports Talk. Any last thoughts, buddy, before we get out of here?
Last thoughts a little bit. I think we're gonna bring up the Masters, just probably a hair here or there.
We'll talk Masters on Thursday so we can pick a winner.
Okay. But as always, 60 people, we appreciate it. We appreciate your time. We always want you to tune in, click and subscribe to us. Get our retweets out. Come visit us on YouTube. That's the most analytics out of all of our statistics that's being looked at really hard. Come support our Facebook page, and interact with both of us, whether it's Jordan Maxon 2, Doug Stevens, or our sports talk right here on X. We always like to intermingle, get some thoughts, get some comments, get some debates going moving forward. Ohio is the richest state in sports, and we've got the teams, we've got the history, so we want to touch on it, we want to be a part of it, and we want you guys along with us for the ride. So just thank you again.
All right, guys, that's been all for Ohio Sports Talk. Thank you again, and we will see you guys on Thursday night. Bye.